let's get into metacognition. What the heck is metacognition? I'm going to explain you what metacognition actually is, and we start at the most inner circle, and that's actually where most of students I work with, where they actually are. They just practice. And there the core is, I practice. That's the start. Yes, of course, I practice. That's important. I practice, but that's only the first circle. The next step is I follow a practice plan. And now you see, it's already, we start to think about practicing, because if you follow a practice plan, you have to create some guidance. You have to think about, okay, when do I practice what? How do I practice? And creating a practice plan already takes some thought. Now we start to think about practicing. I practice is just the activity and I do it. Now I follow a practice plan. There we start to think about practicing. Then we go from bottom to top. The third one is I have a practice plan that suits my needs. Okay, now this changed perspective, right? I start to think about my thinking, because I practice is just practicing. I follow a practice plan is I started to think about my practicing. I have a practice plan that suits my needs. Now I start to think about my thinking about practicing. So this is the metacognition here. But there is going to be a fourth layer. But in the third layer, it's I start to maybe monitor what I'm doing when I'm practicing. And then when I monitor what I'm doing when I'm practicing, I can recognize patterns. And what is there in these patterns? What can I see when I observe myself and my practice plan and my practicing? And then I start to think about, okay, maybe when I adjust something here or there, my practicing gets better. And now we're in the third level, in the third layer. And now the fourth layer is the most interesting one, and that's actually where you can win the game of practicing. That's in the fourth layer. I know how to take care of my motivational processes. And this is now if I monitor my practicing and my practice plans, and I can start to see patterns, I can think about, okay, today it was really fun to practice. So what did I do today? What was different? What did I do today to be very motivated? What makes me motivated to be a jazz musician? What makes me motivated to practice? What gives me the spirit? What gives me that fire to follow a practice plan and to follow a structure and actually move forward? So these are the steps here we have. I practice. These are the four layers. The first one is I practice. The second one is I follow a practice plan. The third one is I have a practice plan that suits my needs. So we need to start to recognize patterns, and I know how to take care of my motivational processes. And this is going to be very interesting. If we talk about what can you actually do, how to create a practice plan that suits your motivational practices. If you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, you can always ask these questions to me. So you can leave a comment here, or in the description of the video there is also an email address or a URL. You can actually get in touch with me, and then we can start the conversation, and I can see how I can help you to figure out what do you need to do to actually control your motivational processes.